Hey, Booze Free Babes universe. We are back again. This is season 4 of the Booze Free Babes podcast. Wow, I can't believe that we have already made it to season 4, and we are so excited that you're able to join us today. So for today, our special guest that we have is Kaitlyn Pickett, and she's the owner of Sun Inked Tanning. So I'm really excited about one, future collaborations that we're going to do with her, and two, just all about her journey, her story, and we want to support her business. So that's Sun Inked Tanning, and we'll give you all of the information to drop that later. So first and foremost, let me tell you guys a little bit about Kaitlyn. Kaitlyn, owner and operator of Sun Inked Tanning. She's also a recovering cocaine addict. And the truth is that she felt like it was impossible to say it out loud once that became one of the most important parts of her story, right? And for years, addiction was something that she just carried quietly. And I'm sure a lot of us feel that way too. And now she understands that sharing openly in spaces like this really creates connection, honesty, and ultimately healing, which is what we're all about. And so it looks like that she founded Sun Inked September of 2021. And this was during a season of her life that everything looked successful and stable. And then as a new business owner with growing clientele, a wife and a mother, we all know the burdens of all of that, right? From outside, everything appeared to be falling into place. And then by 2023, the marriage had dissolved, the business had closed, and now her life at that point started spiraling slightly. So now what we can say though is that at the end or October of 2023, that is when she was able to connect with her current partner who's in recovery. And through that connection, his lived experience showed her that life doesn't require stimulants to be fulfilling. And so he reminded her that energy, passion, and drive could all be redirected towards healing, toward being a better mother, a better business owner, friend, and daughter. Kaitlyn, I hope I did that justice. Now that you've got 2 years clean under your belt, a little bit more than that, actually, now that we're in 2026, right? So we're so glad to have you on the podcast. Welcome. Welcome to the Booze Free Babes podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
So tell me, did I miss anything? Were there any high points that we needed to add?
No, I think you kind of just went on about everything. I think that was perfect. Definitely highlighted everything. So that was
good.
That was good.
Good. So Kaitlyn just shared with me that she's actually out in Ridgeville, and I love that area of the city or of our area, because it's just so nice and quiet out there. But she does have 3 kids, so it's not always quiet.
Yeah, no, we like to keep it moving all the time. So they always have me on my toes.
I'm sure they do. And now that you've relaunched your business and it's thriving and successful, I'd love to hear about how those moments when you met your partner and was introduced into recovery and taking those steps forward. Wow, that was a tongue twister. Sorry, guys.
So, like you said, I had my life ahead of me. I was super excited when I started my business. Unfortunately, life throws curveballs. And by 2023, I did have to close. The end of 2023 was when I did meet my partner. His name is Duke. He is a recovering drug user. So he has made an amazing life for himself. We're very proud of him. Excuse me.
Well, that's
very
beautiful.
proud of him.
That's fantastic.
So I just kind of looked at his life, and I wanted the same for myself, for my kids. It's been difficult, but great. Absolutely great. And I'm so sorry I'm getting emotional.
That's okay. That's what we're about. I mean, I want us to have a real and raw and authentic conversation. And it is an emotional topic, right? Like, especially when we have our partners are in recovery as well. And that dynamic, I'm sure, has its own set of challenges sometimes. So we're so grateful for you guys and happy that you are both in recovery now and thriving. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about how you were able to take those steps in early recovery and rebuild the business.
So I am a quit it person. As bad as that sounds, I don't do um, really steps to stop doing something. I just completely quit, and I think that that was the hardest thing. Was because that's who I am. I Every time I was around it, whether friends were doing it, whether they were drinking or unfortunately doing cocaine, it was very, very hard on me because I wanted to grab it. I wanted to get a hold of it. So I realized that that was a big issue. So I did decide to go into therapy, which my therapist is amazing. She cusses, she messes with me, she tells me when I'm wrong. Like she's my best friend almost. So she has been an absolute godsend. And she just kind of helped me work through, why do you feel that you need to use drugs? Why do you feel the need to drink? Because my drinking wasn't just going out on a Saturday night like a normal 20 something year old. It was, oh, we're drinking, we're going to get blacked out. Like that's what
Right.
I wanted to do. It was definitely a numbing agent. Both things were definitely a numbing agent for me. It was a way to escape, and it completely destroyed me. So I absolutely wanted to make sure. Oh, there's a plane going by. I apologize. Um, I wanted to make sure that if I was going to quit doing this, I was going to quit it completely. So it has been difficult, but through therapy and talking with other people, talking with other addicts that have been going through it or are still going through it, that's what really helped me, was finding like-minded people, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It's opened up a lot of relationships for me, really good friendships. I have a best friend who's actually, she stopped drinking. Super proud of her as well. So it's been really nice just going and finding the like-minded people.
Yes, I love that. I hope that you have found a community, and I know that you're in a rural area, but I hope that you feel like there is a sense of community out there. And if nothing else, from an online perspective, we're here for you too, right? Like there's
Thank
tons of
you.
support online. Wow, that's incredible. And that's the thing. I feel like that's the biggest thing. I also struggled with that when I first quit drinking because my husband still drinks. And so we have this beautiful friend group that we created in West Ashley. And um, you know, obviously some of those folks are still drinking and some of them have chosen not to drink and some of them have chosen to cut back on drinking just because of seeing the impact of not drinking on us or him choosing to drink less and how that's impacted our family. And I love the fact that your friend has now chosen not to drink and you can be there for her and be a support. And that's kind of how this whole group started, was I just was looking for a few friends to maybe grab some coffee with and go do yoga with. And then the next thing you know, it was like a lot of women post pandemic were having this similar feeling of, I want more for my life and I'm choosing abstinence. And so I feel like, we just kind of all came together at the perfect time and supported each other in that early recovery. And I hope that you have found your community too, to be able to support you as well.
Definitely. And I have had my mishap. I've decided to have just one drink or something through that nature. But I will say my best friend has definitely been the one that's like, remember when this happened? Remember when this happened? Like, let's not get back into that. So she has definitely helped me. It's been more her supporting me, which I appreciate. And because I need that person that kind of cracks the whip and says, hey, stop doing that. And my friends do know that about me. So it is very nice to have that one girlfriend that's just like, hey, let's not get back into this. Let's not have, the world crumb again. So I do appreciate the community, definitely.
Wow, I'm telling you, because let's play that tape all the way through, right? Like I could probably have one drink. I think I said this in a post like a week or two ago. I could probably have one drink. It wouldn't be the first drink that would send me back into those old behaviors. But I
Yeah,
promise you that that drink will definitely lead to a second drink. And that second drink can lead to a third. And by the time I hit that third drink, I'm off to the races. So I
exactly.
just know for my journey, abstinence just seems to be the easiest solution because
Hmm.
when I tried to moderate it, I tried to moderate it for 20 years, right? And so I wasn't successful in moderating it. If I was, I wouldn't be here now. And so for me, I just have found that abstinence is the easiest solution because if it's no longer a topic of conversation, it's no longer taking up bandwidth in my brain, you know?
Exactly. And I think a lot of people have this misconception about, quitting cold turkey. It's super hard and it's difficult. Well, that may be true, but I feel like the result is even better than, modifying your drinking limit or something like that. Because with me, I have 3 kids, like you said. As soon as that third drink hits, I'm drunk. I don't have a high tolerance anymore like I did when I was, 19 to 21. 3 drinks and you're not going to see me get out of bed the next day. I'm old as dirt now. Like I can't do
It
that.
hurts a lot worse now.
It definitely, hangovers are a lot different now. And that was the other thing that I wanted to stop doing. Was it's not my kid's fault that mommy went out for a couple of drinks the night before and now she can't get up and take us to the park like that. And that really hurt me because I want to be there for my kids, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. That resonates so strongly with me. My mom has dementia, and that process happened after I got sober. And I feel like had I not gotten sober when I did, the timing of it, like there's divine timing all the way around, right? There's a
Of
much bigger
course.
plan. And so just the timing of all of that, I feel like I needed to be sober and a stronger person to be able to step into what that role requires, being a caregiver. And, it's so funny that you mentioned the hangover specifically, because I don't know how I functioned before, but if I don't get my sleep now, I can't function.
Completely agree. I tell everybody like I need my sleep. It may not be beauty sleep. I may not be cute when I wake up, but I need my sleep or everyone's head's going to get bitten off. Like it's give me my sleep.
And she's always cute, y'all. Don't let her lie to you. She owns Sunning Tanning. She's always cute. All right. So I wanted to share something that I learned yesterday. So Dr. Jesse Ross is a previous podcast guest, and I had an opportunity to go visit him at his office yesterday, and he shared something with me that we probably know but don't really think about, and that's that our
Mhm.
cells turn over like every 9 months. Every single cell in our body has rejuvenated, so we're a completely new person. And I
Mhm.
love that because we talked about that in relation to being an alcoholic and being on this healing journey and practicing abstinence, and how that impacts not only every single cell in our body but how it impacts the entire package, right? Mentally, physically, spiritually, all of it. And so I thought that was fascinating that we are no longer the person. Literally, all of our cells in our body have turned over. So the addiction piece of it, right? Every cell in my body has never even tasted a drop of alcohol. That's fascinating to me. But what's also fascinating is that the desire isn't in this physical body or cell any longer. The desire is all up here. And that I can fix. That we can work with. And I was pointing to my head for those listening. Sorry. I forget that we're not always like we're streaming not just on video, but also on audio. So I got to remember that. But so anyway, I just thought that was fascinating that he shared that. And it's something worth thinking about. What do you think?
Yeah. I I love that for multiple reasons, but the main one is, like you said, like this body has not tasted addiction, or this body does not think of addiction. And I think that that would be a really good, I want to say goal, but that's probably the wrong word that I'm looking for. But I think that that is something that I would tell my friends that are, struggling with addiction is, in a couple months, like it's not going to be you now, it's going to be a future you. That future you doesn't know these mistakes. That future you doesn't know the addiction or the trauma that you're trying to numb. Like, and I think that that's really beautiful, honestly.
It is. It's almost like a freedom in a way to know that this is just temporary and that this too shall pass. And I know that, we toss that around, that phrase around like it's just whatever, but it's true. It really is true that this is a temporary moment and that it will pass and that discomfort is temporary too.
And that's, I think that's another thing that they're trying to look for is, I don't know about you or other people, but for me, like I wanted a fix, a temporary fix to trauma, to numb, all the feelings that I was. So that's why I turned to drugs and alcohol. And if I would have known, hey, in a couple months it's not going to be you, like you were talking about, I feel like I probably would have been a little hard-headed remembering that, but I still would have enjoyed hearing that from somebody.
I think that we hear things when we're ready to hear it too. Whoever's listening to this podcast right now, if you're engaging or this is resonating with you, then fantastic. And if it's not landing yet, that's okay too, because you're going to hear it in the time that it's meant to be for you, right?
Yeah, the keyword yet.
Yet. I love it. Another thing that we were talking about too is like, obviously we're all here because we're self-soothing. And one of the things that if we could just take like a moment when we're having that intense emotional reaction to whatever it is, maybe the kids left their stuff out on the floor again, you stepped on the Lego and you tripped and the dog tripped over the dog, whatever, dropped everything in your hand. Like in those moments that we're super frustrated, if we can just pause for a second and experience the frustration in the moment, the sensation of the emotion itself literally dissipates within 30 to 60 seconds. And that's science. That's just science. And so if we stop in the moment and address the emotional response in the moment, then we can actually move beyond it. It's when we resist that emotion in the moment that we internalize it into our body and it creates more frustration and we don't address it in the moment. And then we're like, get out of the way, dog, get out of here, kids. I can't believe you left your shit all over the floor. You know what I mean? Then it turns to something else.
Oh yeah.
So listen, emotional intelligence, I think if we were all born with it, this would be a completely different country and world. Since we're not gifted with that education, a lot of us in our early childhood, I know that I wasn't really given that rule book on how to handle my big emotions because I'm a emotional authority, so I have really big emotions, and in human design, sorry. And so I just feel like when we have those big emotions, if we can address them in the moment, then they actually create a lot less impact later. And what can happen from that is we're not stuffing it. We're addressing it head on. We're not creating more trauma in our bodies. And then we're able to move forward in a different way. Now, practice makes perfect. And let me tell you, that's something that I'm going to have to practice a lot. But
I agree. I mean, I'm right there with you. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh my goodness, I can only imagine like just about to yell at the kids for something and just having to stop and pause. I'm like, when am I going to stop and pause? Like it's going to be a practice makes perfect situation, definitely.
practicing the pause, and it does, it takes practice. And there are days that I'm dialed in and there are days that I am way not dialed in. So it definitely takes practice. But I do like that concept of feeling the emotion in the moment because it can really shift with as little as 30 seconds. And if we address that then we can avoid what can oftentimes come beyond that. And so it's just another one of those tools in our toolbox that we're learning in recovery, right?
Yes, definitely.
What are some tools that you found helpful for you in your early recovery?
Honestly, the communicating and talking to other people. So I was a very much type person where I did not want to talk to anybody about my flaws, about my issues. And that was something that I had to overcome, that, what I think is a flaw and an issue, another person can use for a positive thing in their life. So that is definitely something that I needed to work through myself, because I always, and I still do it from time to time, where I think, people are talking bad about me because of this that I posted, or people are, judging me or something like that. And it was just something that I had to tell myself is everybody judges. Unfortunately, it's a human thing to do. Even people that say, oh, I would never judge you, they still do, unfortunately. They don't mean to. So yeah, it was definitely a struggle to actually speak to a therapist, to speak to my friends, to tell my family what was going on, even though that they knew, they didn't know to the extent that it was going through. It kind of was, it started off as, oh, Kaitlyn is just going to a party, or Kaitlyn's just going to the bar. No, Kaitlyn's fighting at the bar, and Kaitlyn's, blacking out. And it started to be a real issue. And that was when I finally spoke up and I was like, I think I need help. And that's just something that I think everybody struggles with, is telling somebody that you need the help, that you're need assistance, basically.
And
So
that
yeah,
first, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, you're fine. You're fine. That was just something that I struggled with, was just asking for help. I didn't want anybody to help me, and I wanted to be a strong, independent woman. And I didn't realize that you could still be strong while asking for assistance, while asking for help.
I love that. I'm so glad that you made that connection. And courage is the one thing that first little step is what makes the difference. You had the courage to speak up, and that is the line, right? I wish that I could communicate this in a way that that it would land with everyone. But I feel like what is above shame, like on your emotional scale, what is above shame? Courage. And so the opposite, and maybe not the opposite, that's probably not the best juxtaposition to say, but I feel like what's the cure for shame? And that is courage, right? Instead of being ashamed that we're showing up the way that we are, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I closed down the bar, dancing on the bar at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Like stuff like that. Like letting go of that shame and being able to own that version of me and stepping into courage and saying, you know what, this is no longer serving me. I think I need to find another way. And that's huge. That's something that's really powerful. And if anybody takes anything away from this conversation, I hope the thing that shines through in this is the courage that you took to take that step.
Exactly. I
And then
think
the
it's a
community
very
to support you is
important thing.
important too. But yeah, the first step is
Yeah.
definitely courage. So good for you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right.
Thank
So now I want
you.
to switch gears a little bit and I want to hear about Sun Inked. Tell us all the great things that are happening, because now you're back in business. You're bouncing around all over town. I love it. Tell us
Yeah.
about it.
I do bounce around all over town. So I go all over the low country. Yesterday, in fact, I was in downtown Charleston, and a leasing manager was actually the host of a tanning party. So I got to go in like the model home or the model apartment, and I just sat there and tanned a bunch of girls for hours, and it was great. Having, no issues with, is this person coming in? Is that person coming in? We just locked the door and got to work, and it was great. But I will say that I am very fortunate that right now I am mobile. So I do go to people's houses, their business, wherever they want me to set up. But I am redoing my little she shed on my property. So I will actually be able to tan people at my home, which is nice.
Oh, that's so
But
fun.
I go everywhere. So anywhere that you guys need me, I am there for you.
How can we reach Sun Inked Tanning?
So you are more than welcome to message me on Instagram. I do have a website. It's suninked, INKD, tan.com. It has all my information on there. My phone number is at the bottom. I have my phone on me 24/7, so people are more than welcome to call or text. But you can make appointments on there. You can buy retail on there, anything that you feel that you need to do. And then we actually just came out with an app. So it is on the Apple Store. Unfortunately, for Android users, I'm not able to get it on Google yet, but the Apple Store does have it. It's Charleston Tanning, and you'll see my logo if you download that and become a member on there. It actually gives you points for discounts, which is really nice. And yeah, you can make your appointments on there. You can talk to me on there. Anything that you need from me is on that app. So it's
Okay.
pretty nice.
I love that. And we're going to add the web address in the show notes so people can access it quickly. And then one other thing I wanted to bring up, and I believe that I read this off of your bio, is tell us about the tanless self bronzer that you created and what you do with the proceeds from that product, because I think that's just freaking amazing.
So I have been working on this for about 3 years, and it was just completed in January. But I am making an entire line of self tanners, and the line is going to be called Disorder. So each product of the line Disorder is named after a mental health illness characteristic. So the first one is called Chaotic. It is a rapid sweat resistant self tanner. Um, 20% of the proceeds actually go to the the Brain and Behavior Development Foundation. So it gives back to mental health. I did make it on the cheaper side, so it's not going to be astronomical like your Ulta brands or anything like that. But I have gotten nothing but great reviews from it, which makes me super happy. And I only have like 24 bottles left right now from my order. So
Wow. Well, I hope that when this airs, which will probably be like in 2 weeks, when this airs, that we clear you out of your inventory. So, can we also find out more about that on the website?
yeah, everything is on the website. It is called Chaotic, and you'll see the little tab that says As Seen on TikTok. So if people wanted to know even more information that they can't find on my website, you're more than welcome to go to my TikTok, which is Bama Lynn XO. And I have made all the videos on there talking about it, just kind of going through the journey of making it and discussing like the contribute. Ugh, I can't talk today.
It's all good.
Me contributing to the foundation.
Fantastic. Man, I love collaborating with women that have missions like this. I think it's really important, and we all find a way to give back in our own way. And, I'm the owner of Fraser Lending Group. I'm a mortgage broker by day and a sober superhero by night. And so I love the
I love
fact
that.
that, you know, I named myself that. But
That
I
is
love
awesome.
how we align with causes that are important to us. And as being a mortgage broker, I mean, I've probably done all types of different fundraisers and aligned with different nonprofits, but they were never one that was near and dear to my heart personally like this, right? And so it's different. I feel like when we align with the right cause marketing or nonprofit, that it really just creates this beautiful synergy between our passion and our business, our professional career, it can marry those two voices together to create this beautiful vision. And that's exactly what you've done with Disorder and Chaotic. And I can't wait to hear what are the names of the other products in the line. Do you have a plan for that?
So the next one is going to be called Manic.
I love it.
So it will be an ultra dark 8-hour tanning mousse. So this one you would want to sleep. But it is going to be manic. It is going to be a manic episode in a bottle. It's going to be very dark.
I want to try
So
that one. That's going to be for like the
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. So I'm one of those go big, go home type people. So when I tan personally, and for those that are, listening and not watching, I'm a redhead, hazel eyes. I'm very pale. I am a go big or go home tanner. I will be 20 different shades darker than what I am right now.
I love that. And we want to support you and we want to support your business. And we definitely want to support your mission because that is huge. And I'm just so proud of you. And I hope that we'll put a shout out on the show notes. So Alexa, be sure to do that. And then we will also make sure that we link it. And I want to connect with you on TikTok. And I'll also try to help get the word out on TikTok as well. So you guys go check her out on TikTok. Definitely check out her website and absolutely support Sun Inked Tanning by Kaitlyn. I'm also going to host a party. I think this would be a lot of fun, maybe a little bit later in the season, obviously, as we get a little closer to summer. But I would love to host a party where we have you come out and spray tan some babes. So everybody stay tuned for that. We'll post that in the Facebook group and on Instagram. All right,
That is
Kaitlyn.
such a great idea.
Any parting words that you would like to share with our community about, or maybe anything that you would like to share with someone that is newly sober or newly choosing abstinence?
I think the biggest piece of advice that I can get, if anybody, like you said earlier, takes away anything from this show, it is not weak to ask for help. And that is just something that I will scream from the rooftops. It is stronger to ask for help and to say that you need assistance in becoming sober than it is to just hide away and continue to do what you're doing and continuing to go through the cycle, I guess is the best way of saying it. And I really hope that people understand that if you want to be strong, if you want to be, strong minded, just ask for help.
Thank you for those parting words. I absolutely love that. Thank you, Kaitlyn, so much for being on the Booze Free Babes podcast today. We're so grateful to have you in our community and to also collaborate with you in the future on upcoming events. So I'm going to call it here, folks. So stay tuned. We're going to definitely do an event with Kaitlyn. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to her. We'll be sure to drop in the show notes the website and a way to reach her. And as always, check out Booze Free Babes on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple. And don't forget about the private Facebook group. We also have our Instagram page and now on the Open Recovery app. Check out the Booze Free Babes community that lives inside of the Open Recovery app. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you, and we will talk to you next week.
Thanks.